Hi, this is Carson from Guys with Games, and this will be lesson 4 in our 20-part series on grammar, adjectives. The lesson will consist of 5 chapters, including determiners, adjectival order, verbs as adjectives, comparative and superlatives, and an activity to review what you've learned. To skip ahead in the video, view the timestamps in the description. We'll start with determiners, which are words that indicate whether the noun they're describing is a specific thing or belonging to a larger type or group. These are the 7 label words for the kinds of determiners, but they all work similarly. Here's a chart that will help us understand. We can use a determiner to indicate who the thing belongs to, or distribute a property to each one, to order them, to number them, to demonstrate which one we're talking about, or to quantify how many there are. A determiner will always come first in a string of adjectives. That brings us to adjectival order. Although even native speakers don't realize it, there is an order to follow when multiple adjectives describe the same noun. That's why this sentence sounds funny. His pants were held up by a leather brown old belt. Native speakers learn this order through exposure. It either sounds right or it sounds wrong to us, and it would be hard for us to explain that order without looking it up. So I did. In the last sentence, we used material, color, and age in the wrong order. It should have been an old brown leather belt. Let's look at another example. Elizabeth purchased 3 tiny antique porcelain teacups. We have a quantifier, size, age, and material adjective in the correct order. However, while I was making this list, I ran across a strange irregularity, a special order. Let's look at the following sentence. Little Red Riding Hood met the big bad wolf. Now the big and bad are out of order. It should be bad, big. So why do we say it big bad wolf? Well, it's because of this little known rule in the English language called a blot reduplication, which gets us to want to say short vowel sounds in this order. I, a, ah. This works especially in instances of alliteration, and that's why we have big bad wolf, or flip flop, not flop flip, tick tock, flim flam. Let's try it in a sentence where there is no alliteration. The nuns used to hit us with a thick, nasty wooden spoon. I guess this is okay. It kind of rolls off the tongue. But I would argue that this rule, the blot reduplication rule, applies more specifically to instances of alliteration, short words that start with the same consonant. Let's move on to using verbs as adjectives. We can use the present participle and the past participle as an adjective in the sentence, and it can happen in 2 different ways. If we use it before the noun, it looks something like this: a riding helmet, cooking utensils, sworn testimony, or a written statement. But we can also use it as a state of being, and here there's a big difference between present and past participle use. If we use the present participle, it describes the affect the noun will have on a subject. Homework is boring. That film was upsetting. But when we use the past participle, we're describing the effect it has on the subject. The student feels bored, or my wife is upset. Lastly, let's look at comparative and superlative adjectives, which create distinctions between 2 or more like nouns. We'll set up this chart for comparison and first look at 1-syllable adjectives. The normal rule for 1-syllable adjectives is to add ER to make it comparative and EST to make it superlative. We would end up with something like small, smaller, smallest, as in an ant is smaller than a bumblebee. Next we have fat, fatter, fattest, which follows the same rule, but there's a small discrepancy in the spelling. We'll address this in greater detail in video 9 of our series. There are some irregular adjectives, and they must be memorized. For example, good, better, best. Here are 5 more. Let's move on to 2-syllable adjectives. When a 2-syllable adjective ends in Y, we remove Y and add IER or IEST to make their comparative and superlative forms. However, most 2-syllable adjectives, we use more and most to create these forms, such as more common, most common. And when a verb is used as an adjective, we always will use more and most. Moving on to 3 or more syllables, we will always use more and most to create their comparative and superlative forms. And now for an activity. We seldom use callbacks at Guys with Games, but this is one of the first games we ever introduced back in 2016 when we started the channel. It's called Earth to Atom, and it's perfect for practicing comparative and superlative forms of the adjective. It's a relay game, so the way you set it up is you draw two sets of lines on the whiteboard and you divide the class into two teams. Then you assign opposite superlative adjectives to the top and the bottom of the list. Here we've used biggest to smallest. One by one, the students will come and make a list of nouns that follow this comparative order. So that means 2 is smaller than 1, 3 is smaller than 2, so on and so forth. The first team to finish gets a star for their team, and we practice at the end of the round making sentences using the nouns and a comparative adjective. The original video describing Earth to Atom is number 5 on our channel. We invite you to go and take a look. We've also started a Discord server aimed at connecting ESL teachers, students, and other professionals from around the world. Both links are in the description. Thanks again for watching.